Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This episode is one of many released every month, totaling over 80 episodes so far. Each one is meticulously digitally restored and stored in the cloud for your convenience, a process that incurs costs. To help cover these expenses, you might hear some advertisements throughout the episode. While we do retain the original commercials for historical authenticity, you may also encounter modern ads, which help keep the lights on. If you prefer an ad-free experience, we offer a couple options. You can listen to the episodes on YouTube. You can also support us by becoming a patron on our Patreon page. For more information, go to otrwesterns.com/donate. Again, otrwesterns.com/donate. I do want to emphasize that we are committed to providing this content to you for free, but also we have to be transparent about the financial realities to bringing this to you. Now, let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be The Lone Ranger. Original air date's October 31st, 1947, and the title is Two Gangs. Let's get into it.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! Let's go, big fellow! I'll Silver! Away!
Sheriff Mike Rafferty and those who rode with him were tired and dusty as they reined up and entered the Brunswick Cafe. It was nearly noon, and the lawman had been in the saddle most of the night. Big Mike was discouraged.
Dad ratted, barkeep. This is the third time in a month those ornery thieving critters have got away.
Didn't you see anything of them, Sheriff?
Sure, we saw them. They took a stand at the South Pass and opened fire. They were behind rocks, and we were in the open. It would have been suicide for us to rush that Lawson outfit.
Lobo Lawson is one slick customer.
If it was just his outfit, it wouldn't be so bad. It's the fact that we've got the Brady gang as well as the Lobo Lawson bunch.
Yeah, that's the trouble. We've always got to divide forces.
Maybe the other boys caught up with Dick Brady.
I doubt it.
If I could only get all of my deputies after one gang, I could get someplace.
Well, why don't you?
Well, that's what I did when we got word Dick Brady had stolen some of Phil Bott's cattle.
It was before I came here. What happened?
We went after Dick Brady, and we caught up to that Russell herd, too. As soon as Deke saw how many fellas was with me, he let the herd go and cleared out.
Then you got the cattle back.
Yeah, but those crooks didn't give a hoot about the beef. It had been fixed up between Deke and Lobo. Deke and his gang got all the lawmen out of town. Then when we was gone, Lobo came in with his outfit and just about took the town apart. Helped themselves to everything in sight and rode away laughing.
It was a doggone tough break, Sheriff.
Them crooks have been working that same way ever since. While Deke gets cattle or horses, Lobo holds up a stage or something like that. They savvy doggone well I can't take all the boys and go after just one of them. And when I divide up to go after both, then there's not enough lawmen in each of the posses to get either one of them gangs.
Well, you gotta admit them crooks are plenty smart. As long as they keep working together, they can't be stopped.
They got me so I don't know what to do anymore. Wish Deputy Barnes would get back. I'm anxious to see if his bunch had any better luck with Deke than we had with Lobo.
Yeah, I think some fellas just rode up outside.
That's right. They're coming in.
And empty-handed. Well, that's the way I figured it to be. Deke got away, Barnes.
He sure did, Sheriff. Took Hanson's cows with him.
Did they put up a fight?
Well, they laid for us in the woods beyond the flats. They wounded Clem. They'd have got the rest of us if we hadn't cleared out.
You have any luck? No, Lobo drove us back. Got away.
And with all the cash, it was on the stage.
Hey, Sheriff.
Huh?
That Indian just came in. Stranger here, ain't he?
Where is he?
Down at the far end of the bar.
Oh, I see him. Wait.
Who is he?
You know him, Sheriff? That's the redskin I think it is. By golly, it is. That fella's wanted. Hey, grab that Indian. Hold on to him.
You not get me?
Why, you crook, you're wanted over in Weston. Stand where you are.
Heading for the door.
I'll get him. You missed. Come on, fellas, after him. Don't let him get away. Right.
Indian. Hey, Indian, over this way.
You help Tonto?
Jump up behind me in the saddle here. I'll get you clear.
Help me do it.
Get up! Get up there! Get up!
Who was the fellow that helped him? Must have been another crook.
Aren't you riding after him?
The way our horses are, they've done all the traveling they're going to do till they get some rest. We'll have to let the Indian go for the time being.
The man who had come to Tonto's rescue in town sent his horse racing across country toward a belt of trees at the base of a long hill. Entering the woods, he guided his mount to a clearing where a group of men were gathered.
Ho there, ho, boy, ho there.
Down already, fella? By thunder. He's got a redskin with him.
All right, save the talk. Where's the boss?
Here I am. Fenner, I thought I told you to stay in town till the lawman got back.
That's what I did, Brady. Both posses are back in town. All right, hit the ground, Tano.
Who's the redskin?
Easy, boy. The law tried to get him, boss. Only I seen to it he got away.
What'd you do that for?
You said we could use some more men in the gang.
We don't take just anybody.
Well, that's just it, boss. The law tried to jail this fella. We know he's a crook. That's a lot better than letting someone join up that we're not sure of.
Maybe so. What's your handle, Indian?
Well, me Tonto.
Tonto?
That right?
You hear what Fenner just said? You willing to join up with us?
Oh, me here now.
How handy are you with a gun?
Me all right.
Yeah? Well, we'll see about that. Here. Take this one.
Ah, me taking.
Now, let's see what you can do with it. You see that stump over there?
Me see it.
And them two stones laying on top? All right. See if you can hit them.
Hey, Deke, that's not a fair test. I couldn't be sure of hitting that kind of a target myself.
He can try, can't he?
Me try.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll be doggone.
Hey, that's some shooting. Got them both clean. If you can shoot like that all the time, you'll come in mighty handy. Anything else you're good at?
Me follow trail.
Being a redskin, I suppose you can. That's mighty useful, too. Make yourself at home, Tonto.
How to do it?
Well, Fenner, you say them posses got back.
Yeah. Sheriff was in charge of one and Deputy Barnes the other.
No prisoners?
Nope.
Which means Lobo and his bunch got away just as slick as we did. Fenner, things are going fine.
When are we going to try another raid?
Plenty quick. No use giving the law time to stop and think up a way to get us.
Yeah, that's right.
I look for Lobo to ride over sometime tomorrow. Then we'll plan another move.
See, I was just thinking, boss.
Huh?
Well, after helping the Indian get away in town today, I'm not going to be able to spy out things. Somebody'd recognize me if I go back.
Don't matter. We got other fellas the law's not acquainted with.
What'd you do with the cattle we got?
Hazed them into the valley and bunched them there. One more raid, and we'll have enough for another trip across the Rio.
The Lone Ranger had made his camp in the same woods chosen by Deke and his gang. It was late at night, but the masked man was awake and alert. He sat in the darkness, waiting. Presently, he heard a faint movement not far away. He called out softly.
Is that you, Tonto? Me here.
I've been waiting for you.
Them sleep now. Me get way.
Deke's gang?
Me get in, gang.
Then our plan worked. Do they believe you're wanted by the law?
Not right.
Did you have any trouble getting away from them?
No.
We don't want your absence discovered. Has Deke any plans?
Well, him wait for Lobo. Then them make plans.
When will they meet?
Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That probably means they plan on striking again soon.
That right.
Tonto, I believe I've thought of a way to catch both gangs.
How that?
One of the gangs must help the law.
How you make 'em do that?
I must know when Deke and Lobo plan to get together.
Well, them only say maybe tomorrow.
You could probably learn their plans. On the other hand, you might have difficulty getting in touch with me again by tomorrow night. They might act before then. By morning, I'm going to find a hiding place near Deke Brady's camp. Then when Deke and Lobo meet, I'll be on hand.
That'd be good.
And in case I'm discovered, you'll be there to help.
Me be there.
Now, you better be getting back. It's a long trip on foot.
You keep Scout with you?
Yes. When you need him, he'll be ready.
No one in Deke Brady's camp had noticed Tonto's absence. The faithful Indian slipped past the guards stationed by the outlaw leader and returned to his blankets. In the morning, the outlaws made no move to leave, but spent the time at their ease in the clearing. Then, a little before noon, a single horseman approached.
Hey, Deke, here comes Lobo.
Hi there, Lobo.
Howdy, Deke. Hello there, Lobo.
Wasn't looking for you this early.
Stay there.
Figure we better talk over our next raid. The sooner we do it, the better.
I figure the same way. We got the law in this county so mixed up, it don't know whether it's afoot or horseback. So we might just as well keep striking while we got things our way.
Right. Hey, who's the Indian over there?
Him? His name's Tonto. Just joined up yesterday.
Didn't think I'd seen him before.
No. Fenner helped him get away from the sheriff in Brunswick. We needed men, so he kept him on.
I could use a couple extra men myself.
Where do you figure on striking next, Lobo?
I thought maybe I'd try for the stage again.
Right after robbing it yesterday?
Why not? I got enough men to handle the guard and driving, even if they are looking for us.
Is it carrying gold?
Don't know what it'll be carrying, but there's always something we're stealing on the Brunswick stage.
Uh-huh.
How about you, Deke? You going after cattle again or horses this time?
You know where there's any good horses to be had?
Haven't heard of any.
Then I reckon it'll be cattle. I was saying to Fenner yesterday that one more raid and we'd have enough to sell south of the border. I'll settle for cattle, but I'd sure like to get some horses.
Got someone that wants to buy?
I got a dozen buyers for good horses. What I'd like to have 'em most for is ourselves. We need 'em bad.
The horse I'm riding is as slow-footed as a mule.
Mine's none too good. Lobo, you're lucky. You and your men have got some mighty fine horses.
Well, we'd always be willing to sell.
To us?
Sure, if you want to buy.
Oh, you must be loco. Why in blazes would we pay good cash for critters we can steal?
You said you didn't know of any.
Well, there's none around here. But one of these days we'll find some.
Well, the point is this. I'll hold up the stage again, and you go after cattle, just like before. That part don't matter much. You can go after what you want, and me and the boys will do the same. All that counts is seeing to it we both strike at just about the same time.
How about tomorrow? Too soon?
Not for me.
Fenner, wasn't you saying there was some beef belonging to the horseshoe outfit that wasn't being watched too close?
That's what Link told me. He was taking a look-see up that way. Says toward the east end of the range where the line riders don't get too often.
And they're the critters we're taking.
I'm going to stop the stage up near Needle Point.
What time's the stage pass there?
Around 3 in the afternoon.
3 in the afternoon. Good enough. That's when we'll help ourselves to them cows.
That's agreed, then?
Right, you can figure on it.
And I'll be heading back to camp.
When'll I see you again?
Right after we pull off this raid and are ready to plan the next one. Come here, boy.
Lobo, we're going to have the law clean crazy before we're through.
Yeah, the law will be local. But we'll have our pockets full of cash.
Which suits me just fine.
Well, I'll be seeing you, Deke. And luck to you. Get up, boy. Come on.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Lobo Lawson, after agreeing with Deke Brady upon the time when the two gangs should make their next attack, returned to his own camp. The following day, as the time approached for his men to ride to intercept the Brunswick stage, he supervised preparations for departure.
Bring the horses up here, Pete.
All right, boss.
And the rest of you, see to your guns and ammunition. Maybe there'll be an extra guard along this trip, and they'll put up a fight. If there is, give it to them.
Hey, Lobo! Hey, Lobo!
Where you been, Curly? We've been looking for you. Did you hear me? I asked where you been.
In New Brunswick.
What were you doing there?
Oh, some things I wanted, some tobacco, a few other things.
Why, you crazy fool. Going into town for stuff like that. You might have been recognized.
Listen, Lobo, there's something you ought to know.
What?
I've been followed from town.
Followed? How do you know?
I've seen him 3 or 4 times. Tried to get away from him, but that white horse he was riding was too much for me.
So you was recognized, huh? Why, you idiot. I bet the law set somebody on your trail to find our camp.
But it wasn't the law. Honest, Lobo. This fella was masked.
Huh?
And he was all alone.
How far behind you was he?
Well, not over a couple 100 yards.
Then what become of him? Did he cut off before you got here?
I don't think so. Hey, look, boss. There he is now.
Masked, all right.
Boy, sure got his nerve.
Keep your gun on him. Pull up, stranger. Now get down off that horse easy like and don't slap leather.
I got you covered.
Steady, big fella. If I were looking for trouble, I wouldn't ride openly into your camp.
What'd you come here for?
Help?
What are you talking about?
You're Lobo Lawson, aren't you?
It's me. How come you know my name?
I made it my business to know that.
Well, talk fast, mister.
I know several things about you, Lobo. For one, you're getting ready to hold up the stage.
You find out plenty, don't you?
If you've given warning,
I haven't. I want you to change your plans.
What?
You're not sure that there's anything worth taking on the stage. And you know that the stage crew will be on its guard after the holdup 2 days ago. You're likely to have a real fight on your hands.
What's that to you?
Let the stage go and ride to Brunswick. The bank would pay you better than the stage, even if the stage is carrying money.
So that's your game. You figure you can get me to help on a job too big for you?
Perhaps.
Well, my answer's no. Maybe you're on the level and maybe you're not. I reckon you're riding the owl hoot or you wouldn't be wearing that mask. But we're not walking right into the hands of the law for you or anybody else.
You wouldn't be.
No? Isn't Brunswick where the sheriff is?
Where the sheriff was.
What?
He left town late this morning with just about every townsman available.
He did?
You don't believe me? Ask the man I followed here.
He's right, boss. They did leave town.
Now, do you think there'll be danger in holding up the bank?
Boss, you told Deke you'd rob the stage.
Me and Deke agreed to strike at 3 in the afternoon. Where we strike don't matter none at all. Now, mister, how do we know you're on the level about this?
I'll take my chances alongside of you.
You'll help with the bank?
I will.
Then the bank it'll be. Pete!
Yeah, boss?
Bring the horses like I told you. We're riding.
Deke's men were also preparing to ride, but in the middle of the preparations, Tonto had talked long and earnestly to the outlaw called Fenner.
Indian, I knew when I helped you in Brunswick you was going to come in handy. Come on. Wait till I tell Deke about this. Deke! Hey, Deke, hold on a second. Don't do nothing till you hear what the Indian just told me.
What was that?
He knows where we can get some good horses. Just what we need most.
Is that a fact, Tonto?
That's right.
What's more, boss, he says them horses are as good as those that Lobo and his bunch ride.
Say.
I think we ought to let the cattle go and get the horses.
We can sure use them. Tonto, whereabouts are they?
Well, them near town. Me show you.
Near town.
What's the difference, Deke? We could get them and be away again before anybody knows what's going on.
I guess so.
Only what?
Well, we told Lobo we was going after cattle. But he said it didn't matter what we stole as long as we staged a raid at 3 o'clock.
Now, what do you say, Deke? Been needing horses for a long time now.
Yeah. Get on it, fellas.
Good, that's the way, Deke.
Tonto, you're riding that horse over there, the sandy-colored one. See him?
Hunter ride him.
Lead the way. It's time to get going. Get up there. Get up. Get up.
The Lone Ranger had told the truth when he had assured Lobo Lawson that the sheriff had left Brunswick with every man he could muster. But he didn't explain that the lawman, after leading his party out of sight, had circled back. With his men, he had taken a position in a deep gully from which he could watch the approaches to town.
Doggone, Sheriff, how much longer are you going to keep us here?
It shouldn't be long now.
I got a notion to go on back home.
No, you don't. You're staying here with the rest of us.
Why don't you tell us what this is all about? Why in blazes are we setting out here without knowing the reason?
You'll learn soon enough.
I don't like this. Sheriff, we shouldn't be leaving the town unprotected with them two gangs in the district. There's no telling when they'll ride in.
Well, the town's not unprotected as far as I can see.
There's not a man in it that's able to handle a gun.
But where we can keep watch?
Keep watch! All we can see is the trails. Might be anything happening in town without our knowing it.
Yeah, like them riders we saw go into town just a few minutes ago. The ones with that critter on the white horse in the lead. We weren't close enough to make them out. They could be crooks.
Might be.
Well, it don't seem to worry you any, Sheriff.
Don't.
Because you've got nothing to lose, Sheriff. The rest of us have stores and such places that can be robbed.
Yeah, I couldn't be robbed, but I could lose office if I made a mistake, couldn't I?
I got a hunch you're making a mistake.
I still say I don't like this. How can we be sure the fellas we saw are all right? They acted suspicious enough from what I could see.
Yeah? How?
If they were just punchers, why did they leave their horses in that grove of trees? Why didn't they take them into town like anyone else would have done?
I don't know.
I've been thinking about that too, Bill. You know what it looks like to me?
No.
I think they left the horses there in case of gunplay. Being in the grove, the horses would be safe from lead. They'd be all ready for them when they're set to bear moose.
Yeah, that's
Now,
it.
fellas, calm down. When I brought you out here, I said it was to catch those crooks that have been raising Ned around here. We're going to do it, both gangs of them. You wait and see.
But we can't get both gangs at once. You know that as well as we do.
I savvy some other things that you fellas don't. Now, just keep waiting and quit complaining.
What? Doggone, this is too much. Now there comes another bunch.
Riding like blazes.
They're heading for that same patch of wood, Sheriff. I'll bet anything you want to say the first riders were one of the gangs, and this is the other.
We might have had a chance against that other bunch. But now they're together. That gives us no chance at all.
As far as I could see, we wouldn't have had a chance anyway. If we'd have gone into town after the first bunch, there wouldn't be anyone here to keep an eye on this one. They haven't joined up yet.
But they're heading for the woods, Sheriff.
Now, watch.
If they're the fellas I think they are, you'll hear more about this, Sheriff.
Now, suppose you take a look.
Hey, why, they didn't stop at all. They're driving a bunch of horses out ahead of them.
Those must be the animals the first bunch left there.
They're heading this way.
Are we going after them?
Wait till they get a little further out of town.
They're crooks, all right. But we must have been wrong about the first outfit. These fellas wouldn't steal horses from the bunch they're working with.
They're getting mighty close, Sheriff.
Close enough. Now, come on, take after them. Blaze away with everything you got.
Right,
get up! Get up there!
The first party of riders observed by the lawman had been Lobo Lawson's gang. Lobo, entering town and finding the men gone as the Lone Ranger had told him he would, had been jubilant. The bank had offered no opposition to the holdup. But just as the outlaws were finishing their work, they were startled by the sound of gunfire in the distance.
Lobo, something's happening outside of town.
We better get going. Got all the cash, boss?
Everything is to be had. Come on, stranger.
Lead the way.
Sounds like that firing's over to the south.
We'll see in a second.
Sure sounds like a battle.
Wonder what could have happened.
There they are out there on the prairie.
That's just fine. As long as that fight's going on, nobody will bother to take after us.
What if that's Deke's bunch? We ought to help him if it is.
Deke's way east of here. That can't be him.
Look.
Huh?
See what's happening?
Fight's over.
Yeah, we'd better make tracks. They'll be heading this way.
There they come now. Here's the grove.
Into the saddle and ride. Then wait. The horses. Where in blazes did our horses go?
They're gone. How?
Look, there was that party coming this way.
I didn't notice the loose horses before.
I saw them, but didn't think anything of it.
We gotta do something fast. Here they come and we're afoot. If that's the law, how can we get away? There's no use running for it.
They'd ride us down.
I just saw something flash. By thunder, that's the sheriff. It was the sun hitting his badge.
Every man in town's with him.
But who are the fellas they're holding guns on?
What? Well, they look
It's
like...
Deke. Deke and his whole gang.
Then we can't do a thing but stand here.
Here they come.
Shall we fight him off, Lobo?
Get your guns out. We'll give them a battle even if we don't have horses. Maybe we got a chance yet.
They're in gunshot.
I got a beat on the sheriff. Go, my hand!
The masked man.
What?
Stand back, all of you. Stand back. I'll shoot the first man who tries to rush me.
Why, you...
Make a break for it, man.
Don't move. Shoot now. It means a lynching.
Yeah, it's Lobo, all right.
Every doggone one of the sidewinders that trails with him.
Pass your hand.
We give up.
I dropped my gun. Don't shoot.
You'd never caught us if our horses hadn't been stolen from us.
You say you had some horses stole?
Howdy, Deke. Got you too, huh?
Yeah. But the horses...
Why, some dirty polecats came here while we were in the bank and run off with... Hey, how come our horses come back with you fellas?
Why, we...
Honest, Lobo, we didn't know they was your horses. If we'd known that... Why, you pack of jugheads. You stole them. You fellas got us caught. What in blazes was you doing over here anyhow? You said you was going to rustle some cows over the East Range.
But you told us you were going to hold up the stage. That's why we never
thought us right.
Had enough of that. You want to argue, you can do it in jail while you're waiting trial.
Did you have any trouble with Deke's men, Sheriff?
Oh, they put up a little fight for a while, mister, but we handled them without too much trouble. Bill there got nicked with a bullet, and my deputy got scratched up some, but that was all.
Good.
Sheriff, what's this masked fella got to do with things? Isn't he one of Lobo's men?
I should say not. He fixed up the whole scheme.
Then why didn't you tell us, Sheriff?
If I'd said I was doing what a masked fella told me, would you have listened?
Well, maybe not.
Of course you wouldn't. But I've been working with him right from the beginning. I even claimed the Indian here was a crook, so as the outlaws would think he was wanted.
And it was the redskin that told us we ought to steal these horses.
He's heading for that paint horse with the masked man. That masked fella got me to rob the bank. Well, I'll beat. Deke, you and me were took in right.
And now we're taking you into jail.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate our shows in your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. And send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.